Well, I royally screwed up. Fortunately, it didn't turn out to be a big deal, but I did screw up. And thanks to Nathan and Bruce who caught it, and the other people that caught it, there are a few other people that caught it as well. Look, it wasn't the end of the world. I ended up buying 7 contracts instead of selling 7 contracts on the last video. You might have noticed that. My goal is to sell 7 contracts against the 7 that I already had. Fortunately, what happened is I bought them back and I made a little bit of money. The stock ended up going up. And so I just went ahead and did the trade that I wanted to do in the first place. I sold the 400s for December next week, December 20th. So anyway, I screwed up. But the rest of this video is going to be cool too, because now I'm going to talk about the delta. So here we go. We are making a lot of money on Microstrategy. We're making what I call juice, which is time premium. It's also called extrinsic value, okay? Or it's called out of the money amount, whatever you want to call it. I call it juice. One syllable, I'm a simple guy. All right, so what you see on your screen here is my positions in my IRA. By the way, this is an IRA that I started at $111,000 on April 30th, 2020. And I pretty much invested a little bit in Netflix, but mostly Tesla after that. And I've been in Tesla ever since. So you see the Tesla position on the screen. You know, that's the remnants of a 5-year-old Tesla position that I've been hanging in there on. And now I've split it up into Tesla and MicroStrategy. So I'll do a little bonus on the Tesla stuff in a second. But right now I want you to focus on the delta, okay? Did I lose half of you right there? Delta. Now options have a delta. Delta just means the amount that the option moves in relation to the stock. So if a stock moves up $100 and the option has a 0.8, it moves up $80, okay? $1, it moves up 80 cents, right? So that's the move. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Remember, we are using time value to come to Papa, to come to us. So we're gonna sell premium. We are selling covered calls. When we sell something, anytime you sell something, whether you sell a car or you sell a boat, you get money, right? So we get money when we sell covered calls. To be able to cover the call, we have a base position, an option. Now, both of those positions have delta, which means they move in relation to the market, okay? Now, if you have a stock, it has no delta, or it has 100 delta. A stock moves up $10, it moves up $10. But an option that is replacing a stock, I call them synthetics, those synthetics move up in relation to the stock at a rate of delta. So let's take a look on the screen. You can see MicroStrategy has a 1.0 delta. In other words, the stock moves exactly with the stock. Duh, right? All right, then we've got the 400 calls. Now these have a 56 delta. So I'll go into what that means in a second, but I want to point out that the 250s are deep in the money. These are the ones I own. I call it the base position. They're a synthetic position that doesn't expire for like 7 months from now. And they have a delta of 85. They pretty much move in lockstep-ish with the stock, right? So they're 85% of the stock movement, okay? Now, let me show you how that works. So right now, MicroStrategy just happened to blow up and go up $9.81, okay? So that's the change in the market. Look at the 400s. Now, these are the ones that work against me slightly when the stock goes up. I'm collecting the juice. I'm happy it's going up over my strike. That's great for me. And if you don't understand that concept, go back and watch a couple of videos. I'm in this for the juice. I don't care if it goes over my strike price because the juice is going to be 0. But when I sold it, I got, let's see what it says. I got $31 in the premium, right? Most of that was juice. Okay, most of that was a lot higher. Today it was worth $31.37. Today it's worth $21.505. That's the extrinsic value. In the money amount is $3.50. Does that make sense? I want to focus back on the delta, so I keep getting rambling here. So the stock here is now up 11. See how crazy this is? And the call is against me by $3, right? Because it's a 55 delta, so it's only moving at a rate of half of where the stock is going. And so and by the way, the math is always wonky on these things because of bid-ask spread, lagging, and you can't really trust the math on the screen. But nonetheless, I got nothing else to show you, so we're using the math on the screen. So you're seeing the stock is up 11, the call is against me by $3, and since I have this 85 delta on these, this is up, I don't know, 80, 85% of it. Now look at it, it's up 11, making me look bad. But anyway, it's not up quite as much as the stock, but it's pretty much tracking the stock, right? And so you can go all the way over here to the right, and you can see the P&L for the day is $54.50. How can that be, Mark? You have the $400 calls. They're expiring in a week. the stock is over the strike price, aren't you losing money? No. If you've watched me long enough, you know that I'm in this for the juice, and you're probably tired of hearing that word. But that's my word, all right? And so we're at 405, right? We're $5 over the money. That's money that we have to use in working capital if it stays at 405 to buy back. But you know what we get to keep? We get to keep this extrinsic value, which right now is worth 21, but at expiration is going to be worth 0. So we have to buy it back. Remember, we sold that. We have to buy it back at 0. So that's how the deltas can work for you and against you. It also works well if the stock is going down and you have an 85 delta and you're under the strike price. Well, your stock is only going down, in theory, about 85%, but you're getting a sprinting under the strike price of a really high delta. You're losing all of your delta. And so, you know, when a stock expires over its strike price, it has a 100 delta. And when it expires under the strike price, it has practically a 0 delta, right? So there's a continuum on that. I probably confused the heck out of you, but the bottom line is I want you to take a look. If you're doing these synthetics with me, delta is very important. If you're not doing the synthetics, they're still important, but you know, you buy the stock, you sell the call against it, you collect the juice, you do it next week, the week after, the week after. I've got like, I don't know, 28 weeks left on this thing to collect the juice, and I collect about 20, 15, something like that every week in extrinsic value, which is juice. So I hope that helped to clarify, or maybe I unclarified, but I want you to just start paying attention to the delta. So maybe add a column on your screen for delta, okay? And that way you can track it. I don't tell my students to add extrinsic and extrinsic because I want them to be able to calculate it in their brain. But it does actually help when you're doing quick calculations and you want to decide, hey, how much is my juice? How much am I out of the money? All those kinds of things. All right, I promised maybe a bonus here. So let's take a look at Tesla on your screen as a bonus here. You can see, let's start with the fact that it's up 11,000 in P&L for the day. Now that doesn't take into account all my closed positions. This is just the open position. I've been, like I said, I've owned this for 5 years. So I've got a lot of closed positions that have added and subtracted to this value. And by the way, I don't think I finished telling you what it was worth. I started at 111,000 on 420 and it hit like 758,000 within 23 months. And then it went back down and it waited for Tesla to come back up to where it is in record levels. So now the account is worth about $750,000 from an $111,000 starting point about 4.5 years ago. So not awesome, but pretty awesome. I mean, if I told you 5 years ago that you put in $100,000 and you get $700,000 back, you'd probably take that deal, and so would I. So I'm happy with that. So let's take a look at what Tesla's doing. So Tesla's up $6.71, and you can see the deltas on these. So my deep in the money calls are 85. My short calls, I've got 2 sets of them. I've got way out of the monies for 450, and the stock is at 4.25. And those have a delta of 0.27, which means they move very little in correlation with the stock. That stock's got to go up like, if it goes up 10 bucks, we're only getting $2.70 out of it. That's cool because we're short it. And that's extrinsic value is like $6 that we got when we traded it, right? $6.65. So that's $665 per contract on 15 contracts. I'll take it. Basically, if it doesn't go up to 450, I just collected that as money, right? And you could see the P&L on that, and I just did this, I think, yesterday. P&L on that is just cranking up, right? But it's going against me today, but overall the P&L is going up. All right, the 400s, which are now $25 in the money or $24.50 in the money, they have a delta of 78. Ooh, well, that's not good because I'm short. So if this stock goes up 10 bucks, I'm going to have to come out of pocket another $7.80 from here, right? But I don't care because I'm in this for the juice. So a lot of you that are like, oh, you're going to lose money if you are in the money. You're not losing money. You're using working capital to buy up. Okay, and so I'm using working capital. I'm not going to do any trades today. I'm just going to show you the market change. So if the stock is up $5.66, the short calls that I have that are the 400s, and now they're $25 in the money, they're up 382. That's cool. I'm making the difference between 550 and 402, right? Those two numbers, right? The 450s with the stock up 583 are only up 69 cents. You can see that delta kicking in right there, right? So you notice how it's not exactly the delta. I mean, this is a theoretical number anyway. But and then totally on the 320 call, I've got an 85 delta. So the stock being up 6, I'm up 567, right? So you can see how the delta on good days, when stock's moving above my strike price, I'm still doing great. Why? Because of this column, the extrinsic value, which it should be called the juice. And so 489, 550, these are declining as it goes out another week, because these all expire in a week. And so in a week, these columns are all going to say zero. They're worth nothing when they expire or right before they expire. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to let them expire and freak out, everybody. Don't freak out. They're not going to get taken away. Nobody's taking my base position. I'm going to buy them back for practically nothing in juice or whatever, plus whatever the in the money value is. And I'm going to move them out a week, or maybe move them out a couple of weeks. And I'm going to decide, should I go in the money to protect myself on the downside? Should I go at the money? Should I go out of the money? I'm going to use my trading plan to help me decide that, because I'm very unemotional, I hope, when I try to do these trades. So listen, I know I talked a lot about some wonky stuff. The option delta really confuses a lot of people, and I like to keep the things simple, right? I like to buy the stock and sell the call. If you can do that, great. If you want to add in synthetics, now you add in all this delta stuff. All right, enough on that. By the way, I've decided that I'm having another, what I call an income accelerator class. It's a 4-week live training program on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern. And I'm running a, Manager's Gone Insane special on this thing right now. I'm going to put a link at the bottom of this page or in the description here, so that you can, if you're interested in that, there's no obligation. You can go to the link and you can either register for it if you want and pay for it now and get the deal that we're running right now. And or you can join the wait list and find out a little bit more about it. And after the first of the year, I'll feed you a few things so you can understand exactly what we're doing if you're on the fence. If you're not on the fence, if you like what we're doing, take advantage of the deal. I'm running a stupid deal right now, and I want to get people involved in what we're doing. And there's no way better to do this than to do this live on a workshop and 4 weeks of mentorship with me. We don't go into synthetics on this program, but we do go into buying the stock, selling the call, a lot of defensive strategies, a lot of trade adjustment strategies. I think it's a fantastic program. I've had so many people come through this, and they're still trading today, and they love this program, and they're making reliable income. So I'm just kind of putting it out there that I'm running that. Click on the link below to register either for the wait list, and we'll give you more information as it comes a little bit closer, or if you want to jump right to the front of the line, take advantage of the special that we're running right now. Great. If you're watching this at a later time, I don't know if the special's still going to be there, but I'd still love to have you in the class. I still think it's a great value. It's live. You get mentorship from me. I mean, we're discounting it like crazy right now, but the early birds, the people that take action right now, are going to get the benefit. So thank you for being here. I always appreciate your comments. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like this thing if you like what we're doing. If I confuse the heck out of you, I don't know, give me a thumbs down, but tell me I confused the heck out of you, or tell me what I could do better so I could get better. If you hit the notification bell, as soon as these things get produced, I can send it out to you, because I like making these videos and get them to you timely in case you want to learn from it, or maybe even do some research and then act on it. By the way, don't be following me on these trades, right? If you don't know what you're doing, don't be doing it because I'm doing it, right? There are better ways to learn things than with your hard-earned money. Have a basis on what we're doing before you put your hard-earned money at work. Listen, appreciate you. Thank you, and I'll catch you later. Hey, it's Mark Yegan. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button right now. It helps get the same kind of material out to other people and helps me grow the channel a little bit. Also, if you would like the video, if you think it's cool, great. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down, but tell me why you're giving me a thumbs down so I can get better. And then hit the notification bell, and that way you get the videos as soon as they come out, because I give you timely information a lot of the time, and you want to know what happens before that information gets stale. Thanks for being here.